Hey everybody, it's Dave here. Welcome to Digital Doxology. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, please, and subscribe and ring that little bell so you'll be notified when I put out more videos. Now this video is kind of in response to some questions I've been getting about the Roland Fantom. I know some of you out there, like me, have probably purchased this Fantom in the last month or so, and you're getting frustrated. Maybe you're trying to figure out how to do patterns and stuff. So I'm going to call this video just basics, setup, and getting started. For those of you folks who maybe are not familiar at all with the Fantom and it's getting a little frustrating. At the end of this video, I'm going to put another video that's going to show you where to go on YouTube to find some of the information on how to upgrade your operating system, and also where you can find tutorials on doing various different things in the Roland Fantom on the product support page. And also I've created a playlist on Digital Doxology that will have all of my tutorials in one playlist so you can reference that. So let's get started. I'm going to show you today how to find out what operating system you have first. I'm going to show you some of the benefits of the upgrade, and then I'm going to show you how to do a basic song using the pattern sequencer. Okay, so just a couple of things to kind of get you started. First, when you turn on your Fantom, the first page that comes up on your Fantom says Homecoming, and it's A001. That's going to be the first scene that comes. This is called a scene. And so when you start up your Fantom, you're going to have all these sounds that are going to be on here that you can kind of click on and play. These are some of these, actually most of these are layers, what are called layers. Some of them are even songs, like this one, Ghosts Alone. If you hit the little song button over here on the side, it will play the song. And it's kind of fun to listen to that. It gives you some ideas on things that you can do on the Fantom. Let's go back to some other ones. There's one called Natural Facts. Go over to this side of your keyboard and hit the little play button over here on the side. Now watch what happens when I click on a scene. As soon as I tap on another scene, the song stops. And that's you can change that so that it will keep playing that while you change scenes, and that's called scene remain. And I'll get into that in just a second. That's going to be in your main menu. So you want to go. Let's see what operating system you have. From your screen right here, your homecoming screen, you go down to the left. Look for the bottom button that says Menu. And then when you click on Menu, you're going to go into System. Using this little scroll button here, you're going to go all the way down to where it says Info. There's your General. This is all important stuff that you're going to probably need to access at one point in time or another. For example, your screen brightness. I've done that before. I changed the screen brightness to a 5. You can make the screen brighter. You can make the screen dimmer by changing that in there. And the other thing is to scroll down on this side all the way to the bottom where it says Info. So you're going to scroll down to where it says Info, then look at where it says Version. If your number over here is 1.00 or 1.01, then you have an older operating system, and you're going to want to upgrade that. So go to the video that I'm going to show you in just a few minutes on Sound and Gear's YouTube website. They have a video on there that I used that works very well on upgrading your operating system. The only thing you're going to need is a 32 gigabyte flash drive so that you can use to transfer the information from your computer to your Fantom. Follow the instructions on the video to the T and it'll work perfectly. One thing you don't want to do while it's doing that, though, is you don't want to shut anything off on your keyboard. You want to just let it do its thing while it's upgrading the information. There are some videos on product support page that show you how to format a flash drive to work with your Roland Fantom O. Now, the one I have is a 128 gigabyte flash drive, and it works. The ones they recommend are 32 gigabytes or less, but actually the one I have is 128 gigabytes, and it's already, it seems to be working fine. I haven't had any problems with it. I think it has to be formatted as an FAT file on the flash drive in order for it to work. So just a little side note on that. So first, you want to make sure you have the current operating system. And then don't forget, whenever you do something on your computer, on your Fantom, you want to make sure you write the scene. Whenever you change something, you always want to write it and save any information that you've done. Okay? That's always important, to press that button and save. The little red button here that says write is kind of like a save button. And so that's very important to save. Anything you do in a scene, you want to make sure you save it or write it to the internal memory so you don't lose any information. All right, so number one, make sure you've upgraded your operating system. Number two, go back and watch some of the product support videos on the Roland page so that you can learn the controls. You should be familiar with all the controls, what the knobs will do, what the sliders will do, how to use the pattern sequencer, and the pads. There's a lot of things to learn, but let's just start today with making a basic pattern. So we're just going to start with a basic song. I'm going to go and I'm going to press pattern. Now when I press pattern, then you're going to get this screen to come up. And I'm using homecoming screen. So on your homecoming screen, let me go back to this scene. This actually has 3 layers. It has 3 sounds in here. If I click on zone view, once and twice, these 3 sounds are layered together: concert grand, ambilight, dreaming light. Okay, so those are 3 different sounds that are layered together. Makes a nice little keyboard layer. You can adjust the volume of these on the sliders. So like for the second one, for the second layer, this one, I could turn it down to 0. See, it now says 0. If I want to make it louder, I can turn it up to 40. Let's turn it to 40 right there. Notice it went to 40. I can also adjust the volume of Dreaming Light by the third slider on the side. I can make it louder or softer. Now it's at 50. The one that's getting that weird echo is Ambilight. So I'm just going to turn that one off. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit. Not very much. There we go. I like that. So I'm going to leave this one in there, but only at 20. And these are all things you can do on your own. Now, let's say I really like that sound of those 3 layers, and I want to record something. I'm going to tap on the pattern button. Now, I am going to hit record. The little red button off to the side over here. There's a little red button that's record. Let's turn this off for a second. You can turn off the click by tapping that button right there. I like to have that on there, but not right this second. So let's explain this screen to you. Remember, the Roland sequencer is a pattern sequencer. And so there's some important information you have to input here first. You have to decide what time signature you want to do. If your song that you're recording is 3/4, then you want to change that. If you're recording a song in 5/4, then you want to change it to 5/4. And you want to do this before you start your song. Because once you set this and start recording, you can't change the time signature. That's one of the drawbacks in the Roland pattern sequencer that I found so far. So you have to make sure you determine that when you start. And I'll get into that later, but just make sure you set your time signature to whatever you want to use, 4/4 in this case. I want to count in of one measure, and this is going to play the click for 4 beats, and then it'll start recording. I want to set my tempo. This knob right here will change my tempo by pushing tempo, and then I can make it faster or slower. Everybody see what I did? Or you can tap the tempo button. Or the faster you tap it, the faster your tempo is going to be. So I'm going to just set my tempo to about 90 and then close. Turn that off. Now I also want to decide how long my song's going to be. I'm going to make it 8 bars long. And I'm just going to record a first layer. So 8 bars in length. With the upgrade, when you do the upgrade in the operating system, then you can go up to 64 measures, 64 bars. That's kind of cool. That's practically a whole song right there. So you could record a whole song using just one pattern, one pass. So I'm going to do 8 bars. If I wanted drums, I could include drums on using another pattern and record that first. Okay, this is one of the weird things about a pattern sequencer. So I'm just going to record an 8-bar piano pattern at 90 beats per minute tempo. I'm going to use my click track and press start. 1, 2, here I go. There. I recorded my pattern and stop. So I recorded an 8-bar pattern right there. Now let's say I want to go in and put in a bass on one of these other patterns here. So first thing I need to do is move my little box here over to pattern 4 and go over on my buttons over here and click bass. And then click it again and I can select from a bass sound. I'm going to use that bass sound right there. Now notice the bass sound is not really as low as I would like it. So this is where there's a little button off to the side here on the left that says octave. Listen to what happens when I push the button that says down and down. There we go. That makes it more of a bass. So now I'm going to record the same sort of setup that I just did. 8 bars, same tempo, 1 measure count in. I'm on track 4 this time. 1, 2, here I go. So now I've got my piano, 3 tracks, layers together. Because it was a layer, it had to record all 3 tracks at the same time, all 3 patterns. But it makes sense when you figure out you're using 3 different sounds recorded at the same time. Let's say I wanted to go in and record some strings. So I'm going to go over to track 5 or zone 5. And I'm just going to make a string pattern right there. So I'm going to use my buttons to select strings. And let's see. There we go. Now I'm going to record a string pattern, 8 bars. And it's going to match up with what I did before. So 1, 2, here we go. stop. I can tell I'm starting to max out the little Fantom's sounds here. I'm losing some of the strings. I don't know if you could tell that in the recording, but some of the strings, the layers weren't coming through. Let's play it and see what it sounds like. So I have the zone 1, 2, and 3 are my 3 keyboard layers, or my sound layers. Then 4 is the bass, 5 is strings. Alright, so that's a basic song that I just created using the pattern sequencer. If I wanted to have a drum track, I would go over to channel 10 or zone 10. I wouldn't have to, but the reason I'm going to use zone 10 is because I'm going to use one of the built-in rhythm patterns. So click on where it says rhythm patterns off to the right. There's a little button over here that says rhythm pattern. And then you can click on rhythm patterns. Okay, so you can lay down a rhythm pattern to go with your song. So let's try that. I'm going to record just a 2-bar pattern of rhythm. Make sure I click on rhythm sync. That way this syncs to the rhythm pattern. And remember, it's just a 2-bar pattern. So click on start 2. Here it goes. Stop. So now I've got my 2-bar rhythm over here, and I've got my 8-bar pattern over here. This is one of those weird things about a pattern sequencer. See, I'm used to a real-time sequencer, so that this would be like 8 bars just like the rest of this. There is a way to make this 8 bars if you want to. But just for now, understand that there are some differences between a pattern sequencer and a real-time sequencer. And believe me, that's what took me the longest to get used to, because I'm used to a Korg setup where it has a real-time sequencer and you can set up your drum tracks and stuff. Once you get used to this though, it starts to become easier and easier the more you use it. So it's just getting familiar with it. So now I've got 3 piano layers, 1, 2, and 3. I've got a bass on 4, strings on 5, drums on 10. Now this almost sounds like an intro to a song. So you could actually call this, if you group this together, you could call this an intro right there. Set. And I'm okay. I want to set that as my group. And I'm going to rename this intro. Clear. And then title it intro. Okay. Oops. My spelling. Let me do that again. It's hard to do this sometimes on this little screen because my fingers are big and fat. I-N-T-R-O. There we go. So there's my first group. It's the intro group. But look, it says length is 1 measure. What? What is that? What the heck? So you're going to need to, let's set it. Yep. Now when you get ready to group it later on, when you get ready to make that into a song, you can set your group to, using this knob right here. There. I'm going to set that to 8 bars in length. Okay. And then I'm not going to make a song yet, but I'm going to just leave it that way. So I'll go back to the group. So I've created my intro. Now I'm done with my intro. I'm ready to go on and record my actual first verse. So I'm going to move this little square right here to the next zone 1 on pattern B. This is where I might do my verse. And if I wanted to make something up, I could do that. I'm going to make an 8-bar verse. And everything's the same. So 1, 2, here I go. Whoop, did you hear what happened? Undo. I just did something funny. What I have to do is make sure I shut these all off. I can leave the drum track on, or if I want to keep the same drum track, go to Pattern Utility, tap on that, copy, go to the next square below and click on paste. It's going to take that rhythm and paste it to my next pattern. Or I could just create a whole new pattern if I wanted to do that too. But this just makes it fast and easy. So now I'm going to record my next verse. Oh, click on pattern again. Make sure my little square is over there on zone 1. Here we go. Oh, make sure I got the right length. I can make this any length I want, 16, 24, whatever. I'm going to keep it simple and just keep it at 8. 1, 2, here goes the verse. That's my verse. Pattern B, I just recorded my verse. Now I'm going to go do my bass. And make sure there we go. Here comes the bass. 8 bars for the bass. 1, 2, 3, 4. My bass track. I can do my strings the same way. And 8 bars for my string pattern. This is kind of weird. I don't know why I have to do this every time, but it does make you set the length every time. I guess some people might just want to have a 4-bar pattern for their strings. Anyway, just one of those little weird things. So hit start. So here comes the strings. Stop. Okay, so I have my verse. I have my intro and then my verse. All right, nothing spectacular. We got an 8-bar intro. Now watch. I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a second. This is the intro. Here comes my verse. All right, so I've got an intro and I've got a verse. There was somebody that put a comment on here about wanting to do, I think I understood what they were trying to ask me. When you record this way, you have to record in chunks. So your intro is like a chunk. Your verse is like a chunk. And then you might maybe have a chorus. So you would put your chorus on C. I go back here to... So you would put your chorus down here. Then you might put an ending down here on pattern D. So you're doing it in chunks. And then you're going to put it together as a whole song at a later time. So here's my group. So I'm going to group those. I'm going to call that, let me go ahead and set that as a group. Yes, I'm sure. And then I'm going to make sure to name that clear. I'm going to call this verse. And okay. And exit. So I want to go actually group that. So here's where I have to set the length of my verse to 8 bars. Notice it always goes back to the default of 1. You have to make sure you set this, and then you're good. When you get ready to make this into a song, first thing you want to do is write. Click write, scene, and then click OK, or hit this little button, and OK. Now everything that I just did is saved. Exit. exit. There we go. So if I change to a scene, another scene, and then come back, it should still be there. Yes, it's all still there. So it's saved. If I did that and I switched to another scene and didn't save it and came back to this, it would all be erased. This would all be blank. So you want to make sure you hit the right button and save all your work. Otherwise, you're going to be very, very, very frustrated. So don't get frustrated. Just make sure you save. That's very important, okay? When you get ready to make it into a song, then you're going to click on this little button right here. Make song. So when you get ready to make a song, you're just going to click add, and it's going to put your intro right there, and then your verse. Add another verse. And if I had a chorus, I'd put the chorus in there and then an ending. And then you just make a song. Voila, you've made a song. It's that simple. Of course, if by the time I actually get finished with this song, I would have intro, verse, maybe a chorus, then another verse and a chorus, maybe an interlude or an instrumental solo, come back to the chorus, and then tag an ending right there. So by the time I get all done, I'd have a whole song, and I could hit song over here and play the whole song. All right. So I hope that gives you some help. Before you get started, though, make sure you go into your system and upgrade and check to see what operating system you have. That's an important thing to get started. If you just bought this keyboard, make sure you do this first. Okay? Upgrade your operating system. That way, when you get in here and start recording songs, you can actually record a song that has 64 measures in it, not 32. Turn that off. If you didn't upgrade the operating system, you'd only get 32 measures. Stay tuned. I'll think of some more things to add to these tutorials for you. Hang on and stay tuned, because I'm going to add a video at the end of this that will give you some information on where to find tutorials and to show you how to upgrade your operating system, and also tutorials that you can find on the Roland product support page. Have fun playing with your keyboard. This is Dave saying see you later, but stay tuned because another video is coming up right after this. Bye. Hey everybody, it's Dave here, and we're going to get started on showing you some basics and how to get set up and some information. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that little bell so you'll be notified when I put out more videos. So today's title is Getting Started with Basics, Info, and Setup. So I'm going to give you some places to go to find some important information. I'm assuming that you just bought your Roland Fantom O, maybe it's an 06, 07, or 08, and you're trying to get some information on how to get started. Now, I just bought mine a month ago, so I totally understand if you're getting frustrated at getting some information, but I'm going to show you right now places to go on YouTube that you can get some videos to help you just like I did. So first, I'm creating a playlist on my channel here, and the playlist is called Roland Fantom O Series Tutorials. So you can go into my channel and look at all the tutorials that I put on here in a playlist. So anytime I add new tutorials, I will add them to this playlist. So these are all the Roland Fantom tutorials that I've created so far since my first unboxing, which is about a month ago. Okay, and I did one called Creating Your First Song, Creating a Set List, and so on. I even did a couple of them where I was just recording a video on how I did a song and set it up and stuff in my studio. So if you want some information there, that's very helpful to go to my channel and look for those tutorials that I have on digital doxology. Now the next place to go to, first thing I'm going to suggest is if you haven't upgraded your operating system on your Fantom O, you want to do that first. And if you go in, and I'll show you on another video in a minute how to go in and check to see whether you have the latest upgrade. This video from Sound and Gear is the one that I used. It really helped me to load in the operating system on my Roland Fantom. Follow this video, and I'm going to give them a little plug here, but if you follow this video on Sound and Gear, Roland Fantom 6, how to update the operating system firmware. Look for this video on Sounds and Gear. And a couple things to know about. This Fantom that he's using to demonstrate is one of the original Fantoms that came out 2 years ago, or the Fantom Big Brother as they call it. But the procedure is very similar to what you need to do on the newer Fantom O series. So just follow his instructions. You're going to need a USB thumb drive, a flash drive. You're going to need to format it, and they go through all that in the video. So you need to format your flash drive, and insert it into your computer, and then also insert it into your Roland Fantom in order to transfer the operating system from your computer to your Fantom, and then upgrade it. So you want to follow all the instructions in this video, and that's what I did, and it worked perfectly to upgrade to the newest operating system. So on the video that started this out, I will show you how to do all that, but I'm just showing you where to get the information that I used. So this is where I got it. The other great website to use is Roland Product Support on YouTube. And there's Ed Diaz. Hi, Ed. Kind of give you guys a little plug here. So what you want to do when you get to the Roland Product Support page is look for the playlists. Click on Playlists. There's 2 playlists in here that you're going to want. There's the Roland Fantom O playlist, but down here in the corner, or over here on this side right here, is a Roland Fantom playlist. You can use both of these. The Roland Fantom is the big brother of the Roland Fantom O. Roland Fantom came out 2 years ago. This is the big brother. I call this the Roland Fantom Max because it has the weighted keys. It has a heavier weight. It also costs about twice as much as the Roland Fantom O series. But the Roland little brother, the Roland Fantom O, which is the little brother of the big brother Roland Fantom, has a lot of the same features. It's a lighter weight keyboard. The Roland Fantom O. All right, let me stop that right there. So this is the big brother Roland Fantom that came out 2 years ago. You'll always notice because over in the videos it says 2019. So this is the big brother. You can tell because it has the lights on the sliders. It also has the red back. When you look at it on a video, you'll see the red back on it. It's also heavier and it costs more than the Roland Fantom O. Let me go back to the first page. The newer Roland Fantom playlist is Roland Fantom O. That's the one you want right there. So you're going to go to their playlist. Let me turn that off, otherwise it'll play the video. And then over here on the sidebar are all the videos for product support that will help you with the Roland Fantom O. Like how to set up, customize your rotary speakers for the organ, how to do introduction to arpeggios, and so on. So if you haven't taken a look at these videos, do that. Take your time. Some of these videos go very quickly and they go fast. So be prepared to pause them while you're working with Ed on how he's showing you stuff on the video. Sometimes Ed goes very quickly through it. If you can see, it's a 5-minute video or a 7-minute video. He's covering a lot of information in 5 or 7 minutes. So sometimes you have to pause the video and hit the pause button and then work it out on your keyboard and then continue the video so you'll be able to get an understanding of what they're doing. But there's a lot of information in there and it's very rich in information, so be prepared to pause the video if you need to, and you can always go back and watch them again. I had to do some of these videos a couple times, like how to explore tones and how to some of these are pretty easy to do, like how to format the USB thumb drive and so on, how to create a basic layer. That's a very good one to watch. And sometimes you might need to watch that again, how to create a basic layer. Alright, so this video from Sound and Gear on how to update the operating system firmware. The Roland Fantom product support page just for the Roland Fantom O. Make sure it says that there. You can also go back and watch some of the tutorials for the Fantom Big Brother, but there will be some differences between the Fantom and the Fantom O. Alright, so just understand that. Hope this helps you. Don't forget to check out Digital Doxology and the tutorials that I have on there. Have a great day. I hope this helps you. Stay tuned for my next video coming out soon. This is Dave saying bye.